Today we're looking at the 5 most overpowered early game Pokemon, starting with OG and fan favorite Gastly. But not in the generation you might be expecting. Gengar's most overpowered appearance is not in any version of Kanto, but actually Generation 2's Johto. Gastly can be found in Sprout Tower and on Route 31 before the first gym, and it's a Pokemon that will help you in every single major battle within Johto. Now, in the early game, Gastly has a majorly lacking move pool, so this might be hard to wrap your head around, but it's seriously good. You're often able to pop in with it for free as you resist normal moves, outspeed a Pokemon, and get off Hypnosis to allow a safe swap to another Pokemon to finish it off. At 16, it also gets Curse, an insanely underrated move that takes half your health and deals a quarter of damage each turn. This, in combination with Ghost Poison typing, means you 4 times resist all of Bugsy's moves. It's a free win even if you picked Chikorita. Unfortunately, it's only in Gen 4 where Gastly gets the move Subscribed, so maybe you can help him out with that. And next, in the Whitney fight, if all Gastly manages to do is get off a Curse, that's enough for a win. Since it can't stomp you, Miltank will always roll out. Now that it can't heal itself with Milk Drink, it's locked itself into death as long as you can hold on for 2 to 4 more turns. And while you won't hold on for long in Morty's gym, getting Hypnosis or Curse off on Gengar can give you the edge needed to make for a very easy fight. And just as you were getting tired of the tricks, Haunter now gets access to Shadow Ball. This is admittedly not the greatest move, as Shadow Ball draws off of Haunter's 50 attack rather than its 115 special, but it doesn't even matter because in the 5th gym, Haunter hardwalls Primeape, keeping it healthy enough to land a Curse or Hypnosis and finish Poliwrath with ease. So first half of the game, amazing utility and benefit in every single fight. At this point though, we have to assume you have Gengar, because Gengar is the Pokemon on this list. Gengar is now going to sweep the second half of the game, and that's because you can slap Thunder, Fire, and Ice Punch onto this bad boy and start finally taking advantage of that 130 special attack stat. Jasmine is no match for your Flaming Fists of Fury as you claim badge 6. Price's water type seize up in terror to Gengar's tenacious throws of Thunder. Claire's Dragonairs implode upon impact of the icy Liquidators. From here though, the first Elite Four member will oppose you. He's got Psychic on every Pokemon. It's not free. Still though, you're one-shotting his Xatu and you can take out one of any other Pokemon on his team. Koga's Venomoth, Ariados, and Fortress go down to Fire Punches, while it's your choice on how to take out Crobat. Will it be Snow or Storm today? Next, Bruto is feeling pretty uncomfortable as his own fighting type fists can't do anything to match the ferocity of your elementals. And I know what you're thinking, again, Karen, a legitimate threat with dark types. You're still good here. Thunder and Fire are enough to easily take down her Murkrow and Vileplume. You can probably even deal with her own Gengar. But lastly, we have the champion. Birdkeeper lances Gyarados down to a single Thunder Punch. Stab? Who needs Stab? All 3 Dragonites go down to a single outsped Ice Punch. Charizard is an easy outsped 2-shot, giving you 5 out of 6 against the champion. Gen 2 Gengar is an absolute menace and provides a use case in every single major fight in the game. And while Alakazam does all this and debatably more, we chose not to include it for this list as Abra doesn't make an appearance until the 3rd gym. Now next up, we're heading to Alola to look at the one and only Crobat. Amazing in so many games, it particularly shines here. Zubat is obtainable really early on in the cemetery just off of Road 2. Its evolved form Crobat gets a whopping 130 base speed, complemented by 90 attack and a solid early game moveset with Bite, Wing Attack, and Poison Fang. And most importantly, with friendship grinding, you can evolve your Zubat into Crobat as early as level 23. This early power spike gives it easy use cases despite going neutral against the normals of Trial 1, Wishy-Washy in Trial 2, and Trial 3's Salazzle. With 4x grass and bug resistance, Lurantis gets absolutely destroyed by both poison and flying moves. Vikavolt is a very real roadblock with Crobat's electric weakness, but it comes back right after beating Mimikyu with fairy resistance and the super effective Shadow Ball. It also very easily beats the pseudo-legend Como-O with Air Cutter. And Crobat doesn't let up going into the Elite Four either. It wrecks lots of Howl's team with super effective Air Slash. It admittedly struggles against Olivia's Relicanth, Golem, and Probopass, but at least takes out Carbink and goes neutral to Lycanroc with Steel Wing. Against a Sorola, it takes out Driftbloom and Delmise, goes neutral to Sableye, and then easily beats her Palossand with ground immunity. Moving on to Professor Kukui, it loses to Lycanroc and Magnezone, then goes neutral to Braviary, Snorlax, and Alolan Ninetales with poison moves. Although it is kind of frail and you're pretty fast, so you might be able to take that one out. As for the starters, it will wreck both Decidueye and Primarina, and then goes neutral to Incineroar. So of all the battles in Alola, Crobat is only really bad for Vikavolt and proves at least useful in every other trial, Elite Four, and the champion fight. Hey, you guys remember in Generation 5's Black and White 2, how you could get a Riolu before the first gym? Yeah, I think we gotta talk about how you can get a Riolu before the first gym. Once again, as a happiness-based evolution, you can get a Lucario by the first gym in Black and White 2. That's 110 attack, 115 special attack, and 90 base speed before the first gym. Do I even really need to run through the early game? It can wreck Sharon with counter and destroy Roxy with poison immunity, but like, who cares about type advantages? You have a Lucario. The train doesn't end here though, because it absolutely crushes Berg's bug team with grass, bug, and rock resistance. It does admittedly struggle against Elisa's Emolga with fighting and steel resistance, but I mean, like, come on, dude, it's a Lucario, just brute force. Next, it goes neutral to Clay's Excadrill and Krokorok's ground moves with its own fighting type, but I mean, like, again, dude, come on, just spam and you will win. It's a Lucario. It similarly goes neutral to 2 of 3 Skylasmons, but struggles with her Swanna's fighting and steel resistance. Against Drayden's Dragons, it beats Druddigon and Haxorus with ease, but loses to Flygon's Earth Power. And finally, it's solid against Water Marlon, wrecking Caracosta with fighting, Jellicent with the Shadow Ball TM, and I don't know, man, have you ever tried just brute forcing? Because you can. From here, it continues to wreck in the Elite Four. You have super effective Shadow Ball against Chantal's entire team to really use at your discretion. You similarly get super effective fighting moves against Grimly's entire team, but Crocodile's Earthquake and Scrafty's Brick Break make it only a half sweep. As for Caitlyn, you once again get the super effective Shadow Ball against her whole team, while she only has neutral Psychic and Flying moves. Marshall, the fighter, only has fighting types, so maybe give the big dog a break here, huh? And that just leaves us with Iris. You'll destroy her Aggron that has 4-time fighting weakness. Lapras also doesn't like fighting. Druddigon can be taken out easily with Dragon Pulse, but watch out for that flamethrower. Hydrogen can be taken out easy with Dragon Pulse, but again, well, watch out for that flamethrower. Archeops will get wrecked by Flash Cannon, and so the only other struggle is Haxorus, since its Focus Sash prevents a one-hit KO. You might want to watch out for that one as well. So overall, it's a Lucario that you get at the very start of the game. That's it. Up next, we have the Kalos Legend Honedge. Depending on Aegislash's form, you either get 150 base attack and special, or 150 defense and special defense. And you can obtain a Honedge after the first gym. Moveset-wise, you can learn Shadow Sneak, Aerial Ace, Night Slash, Iron Head, Sacred Sword, and Shadow Ball via TM. Amazing typing, combined with an incredibly diverse moveset, makes this entire family insane within Kalos. Starting with grants rock types in the second gym. Now, you won't get a damage dealing steel type until after this gym, so it's not a wash. It's probably gonna lose to Tyrunt's Bite, but since you can get Shadow Claw by then, you'll at least be able to deal some big damage to Amora, resisting both ice and rock. Next, 2 of Corinna's fighting Pokemon are completely hardwalled by Honedge. Her Machoke can only hit you with a resisted Rock Tomb, meaning Honedge makes this fight completely free. Similarly, from here, Ramos's grass team gets wrecked by flying and steel superiority. The 5th gym is kinda whatever, but onto the 6th gym with a fully evolved Aegislash, Psychic and Fairy resistance will make quick work. And from here, that Psychic resistance comes in handy again against Olympia's entire team of Psychics. Then, with Ice and Grass resistance, as well as the super effective Flash Cannon, Wulfric's Ice team is a very doable sweep. It's not just useful, right? It nearly sweeps every gym in Kalos. And that continues into the Elite Four. With either Head Smash or Rock Slide, you actually end up neutral against Malva's entire fire team, which you'd expect to be one of the most challenging fights in this game. Next, with Steel, Fairy, Rock, and Bug resistance, the only chance Wickstrom has is his own Aegislash, which is obviously neutral. Similarly, against Drasna, you resist Dragon, Flying, and are immune to poison which is every type he has. I certainly wouldn't take Aegislash up against Cybolt's Clawitzer with Dark Pulse or Gyarados with Earthquake, but you've still got a use case here. Psychic Starmie gets absolutely wrecked and you go neutral to Bibaracle, once again providing major benefit. Then finally against Diantha, you can Aerial Ace Hawlucha, Ironhead Tyrantrum, Aurorus, and Gardevoir? Should probably say that again, you destroy her Mega Gardevoir. Really, the only thing on this team that's gonna hurt you is Goodra with Fire Blast, and I don't know, man, figure it out. So overall, this entire family is insane. It's mediocre in 2 fights and basically devastates every other thing in this region. But finally, at number 1, we have the literal blueprint, the archetype to an early game Pokemon. Could it be anything other than Gyarados? Start with an insane move pool of Waterfall, Flamethrower, Surf, Strength, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Ice Fang, Earthquake, Stone Edge, Dragon Pulse, Dragon Dance. Add this to an amazing attack stat paired with surprisingly great bulk, and then tack on Intimidate for good measure. Make it the most accessible Pokemon in the franchise and have it evolve at level 20? It doesn't matter what game you put Gyarados into. It's the most reliably good Pokemon of all time and our number 1 spot.